It's Boar here.
Boar, yeah.
And today I'm going to be ranking the worlds, but doing it the right way. As we can see here, 5 full pages of worlds now. Some people, their favorite world's in here. Some people, let's not lie. It's not going to be in this page, and it's not going to be in this page. Might be in this page, and if it's in this page, I have a few words for you. But today, we're going to be ranking the worlds the right way, the way Raven intended. And let's get over that right now. Here we are with the tier maker. If you want to do the same one, type in tier maker, Wizard101 worlds, something to that extent. It'll be the first or second one that pops up. If you want to make a bad list, you can do that. But you could just take a screenshot at the end and say that's your list. So it'll be right at the end if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to do these just in order. However they are on this list is how they're going to be. So if you're going to be like, Wisteria comes somewhere in here, it's just going to be where it is on the list. Right off the bat, Wizard City. A lot of people really like Wizard City. I'm a fan of it. Is it good enough to go in S just because we're nostalgic for it and that's where everything is? Maybe. I'm going to leave it in A tier right now for both of those same reasons. It's a short world. You barely have any mechanics. It's a good starting world. A tier's good to start off with. I can always move it later. This list will be right, one way or the other, because I'm doing it, and not this guy that usually hangs out with me. Second world, Croc. Am I indifferent about Croc? I'm indifferent about Croc. C's good to leave it for now. It has some fun parts. Nothing's very long. Nothing gets into very much detail. I know that there's good story going on with it, but it just doesn't really pop for me one way or the other, but it's passing C. Marleybone, hot take. I'll put in between these two. I really like the aesthetic. I like the London look. Get the London look. I like the London aesthetic. At night, everything's at night, everything's dogs, and who doesn't like dogs? It's a cool story. You're just chasing around these artifacts, trying to catch this cat who's evil because the dogs are not evil. It's a solid B. We'll leave it right there. Now Mushu. Mushu's gonna be the first of the bad tiers. Do I want it here or do I want it here? I'll leave it C. Some people just got so mad that Mushu went in D. Let's leave it at C for now, and I'll tell you why. The entire reason you come to Mushu is only to get the key to go to Dragonspyre. You're running around this whole world looking for a key. Apparently, Zeke had a key. Zeke's there whenever you show up. Or, like in Chrysalis, a terrible world, spoiler alert, you make a key to go to this world. There's no key to go to Chrysalis, and you make it. But to go to Dragonspyre, when the world's also at stake, we'll run around this cow land. It's pretty, but we'll run around this cow land just looking for a key. Only reason we're here. The art's pretty. Do I like it better than Crocotopia just because of the art? Or do I not? Let me close my eyes and do this 15 times. Okay, I did it 15 times. We'll leave it like that. Now, hot take, quite literally. Dragonspyre, man, is it as good as Wizard City? Is it as good as A tier Otherworlds? I think I'm gonna slide it into the top of B tier for right now. Do I like it more than Marleybone is the question. No, I do not. It's kinda long, pause. It's really hot, pause. But all of those pauses aside, it does have a very sick final dungeon and final fight against Malastare. Maybe that edges it out against Evil Catman. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay. It's just too long for a starting world. This whole arc is plagued by the fact that you don't have a solid AoE on ice, life, and death until you're almost done with the arc. 48. Like, I know that most schools get a rank 4 spell, or you have the pay to win spells with the school pip on them, and you have to buy them or farm them, and that's very difficult. Past this world is where it starts getting very good, but it does make Dragonspyre a grind where you don't have those AoEs on a lot of schools. Almost half. Now, are we wanting to rank these side worlds like Grizzleheim, Wisteria, Catacombs? No, that's the Catacombs. This is 4 dungeons. Let's get these out of the way real quick. Grizzleheim, I really like. Let's put it in top of B. I really like the story, and it's not so much OG Grizzleheim, but I know a lot of people like that. I like Wintertusk for the pacing and the XP art, and the fact that you have to free Raven, that's like the creator of the spiral, and she needs your help. Okay, that's pretty sick. So I'm gonna put that top of B. Wisteria, it's really nothing. It's cool that you get to do the tournament. I really like that. I like it more than Croc. Belladonna Crisp. Belladonna Crisp is carrying a lot of the weight of this world for it to be top of C. No Belladonna, D. Why live? Belladonna, average it out, C, top of C. I like the tournament. I like that you can see your name go by. I like it's not a long world. And even if you do it at the right level, it's a pretty well-paced world. I'm a big fan of pacing. If it's a beautiful world, interesting fights, but the pacing's like running uphill with 10-pound vest on and you're swimming through maple syrup, I won't be able to enjoy a world. That brings us to Catacombs. I do like Catacombs. It has very hard fights in it. That's a hot take probably. I'm dropping it in B. I know some people will probably have it in actual F tier. Some people probably really like it and have it in A. I'm gonna drop it above Dragonspyre. Those last 3 fights are really, really monumental to climb. They're hard to do. Just thinking back on how hard some of those fights were, it has to go to C. I mean, I like the lore behind it. The lore, if we're going only on lore, it's A tier. Too bad we have to factor everything else into it. I just drank 15 gallons of water because I was coughing very hard. Celestia. That's gotta be a B? Gotta be a B? Gotta be Barry B. Benson in the B tier. And I'll tell you why. Oh no. It's going A tier. It gives you so much more power going through it. Just the addition of the astral spells alone just really sets this way up high in the standards department. And then on top of that, it's an aquatic world where you're underwater for part of it. I'm a big fan of it. I like the theme. I like the pacing. It's a decent length. Whoa. It has an appropriate amount of quests in it to keep me engaged and liking it with the theme. So I will put that, it'll probably be at the bottom of A tier, but it's going to stay in A for moi. And we're on to Zafaria, the Grey Horn Mercenary of Worlds. If it wasn't for the repetitiveness, it would be a lot higher. But it is. So I'm going to put it... behind Catacombs? No. Right between Wisteria and Catacombs. It honestly, this is a weird statement, but it has a lot of the same aura that Wisteria has to me. As far as like the art style, I don't know, did they come out around the same time? Let's fact check that. Did they come out around the same time frame? No? Not even close? Oh, like 3 decades apart. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Thank you. I don't have anybody here with me. Moving on, Avalon. I love, like with a capital L-O-V, love, the aesthetic of Avalon. That's not enough to put it up this high because it has a significant amount of running and it's like area to area back and forth. Can I put it above Dragonspyre? Yes, I can. Can I put it above Grizzleheim and Wintertusk? I'm not too sure. I think B's good for it, just off, and the lore's a big, thick, meaty cantaloupe, and you just, like, if you know what I mean, it could pace a little better. And if it wasn't so much running back and forth from areas, I mean, it's up here somewhere if you fix that. But alas, it is not like that. It's a little scuffed down in B tier. I have just neglected to include Aquilia, whatever you want to call it, in with the other random worlds. It's okay. Do I really want to rank it? No. Am I going to? Yes. Why? I don't know. This is a tier list and it's on there, so I have to do it by law. It's really just the 3 dungeons, and if you count the running around back and forth between like the library and the end of Cyclops Lane, and I mean you have to talk to Cyrus. Is it better than Mushu? Is it better than Croc? Let's see. Do I like it more than Wisteria? No. Better than Zafaria? I mean, it's pretty epic that you get to go to Tartarus and meet all these gods. I can't put it any higher than this. Is it Marleybone? Is it better than Marleybone? I don't think it's long enough to put up. I think it has to be like right in here. So we're settling in to C tier being the side world area. That makes sense. This right here, am I going to do anything with that? Do I want to just sit it down here and forget it's even on here? I think that's what I will do for the time being. We are in the danger zone. The terrible twos. And I say that because there's 2 worlds here that just are way longer than they ever needed to be. Azteca, it's firmly in D tier for me. It's too long. The bosses are too hard. I have friends that just are fanboys for it. Doesn't make any sense to me, but I mean, this is my list because I'm doing it right. Obviously, I want to do it right, so I have to put Azteca in F tier. Just to, I mean, D. Like, I understand there's nothing, like, it doesn't really make it in front of or behind anything else, but just out of the principle, it's got to be F, right? So we'll put that there, and then its terrible counterpart. I mean, it has amazing lore. It's just too long. Pause. It has too many quests. Is it better than Mushu? Is it better than these things? Do I want to sit it at the top of C tier? Just because of the lore and how pretty it is? Despite having 277 quests? Or do I want to let go of this mouse and leave it in D tier? I think that's what I want to do. If anybody has any pull whatsoever and you're watching this tier list, you're probably not. But these 2 worlds have too many quests, and that's the only thing holding them back. Chrysalis could be up here. It could be even up here. It could possibly be... No, it has too many quests, so it has to go down here. Same with Azteca. Azteca, from like, I guess a lore and a story, could be in like up here in B tier, but since how it doesn't have any of that, it's getting demoted to F. Now we are getting out of the mid zone. I know you're like, why is it all C? Why is it all B? There's only 2 bad worlds and 2 good worlds. And if you're saying that, you're right, because this is how it has to be. This, I told you, this is the right way to rank these worlds. So it has to be like this. I mean, I don't have a choice. I'm just telling you how it is. But we are out of the mid zone now, and we are on to some fabulous worlds. Polaris. Oh my. Polaris is rocketing all the way up here. It's a little bit goofy story-wise, but it gets thick at the end. Pause. Why do I keep saying the sussiest of sentences to describe these worlds? It has some of the best, if not the best, pacing of any world. It has good story. The first little bit, it's all about liberating this world, and then you're running around doing these miscellaneous tasks, and then you run into like the son of the devil. Okay, no more spoilers, but it gets very heavy towards the end. Pause. It gets a very developed story at the end of the world. Moving on. Arcanum, S tier. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear anything else. There's just interactions that happen here. You get nothing but spells and pets and crafting and talk to people while you're here. I know there's little side rooms you can do a little bit of fighting. This is all for story, and it is so cool. You're in the middle of the cosmos, and there's all these secret society. This is the Illuminati. You join the Illuminati pretty much in game. You're just stronger now than any of the little smooth brains back in Ravenwood and you've just graduated quite literally from Ravenwood into this. It's just so cool. It's a better commons in space. Did I mention you are in space? Now, did I shuffle that around, or was it shuffled around from the beginning? I don't know. But this is next. Mirage. Mirage is a very good world for the same reasons that Polaris is. But is it better than Wizard City? It is. And I'm not going to pretend that it's not. Wizard City's good, but whenever you get to these Arc 3 worlds, they're all monsters. The story is just crazy. Whenever you get halfway through Polaris, till the end of that entire arc, it's just right hook, left jab, spinning back kick. Oh yeah, we're fighting the gods. It's just immense. No, I'm leaving that. It is gigantic. It's meaty. It's just delicious. I'm just leaving those there. But following up on that, I'm just gonna put these all right here just because of how epic the story is. The pacing's phenomenal in these first two. Imperia, not so much, but it is a two-part world, and I mean, based on this one, two-part worlds are a monster to deal with, but still, either way, this only has like 149 quests, something like that. Like it has 70 in the first half and 79 in the second half, or vice versa. Close to 150. That's not bad. That's not as bad as Avalon, I think. Avalon or Azteca, one or both, have more than that, and the story doesn't amount to a hill of beans compared to Imperia. You rectify shadow and light, two opposite things, Raven and Spider, and you make them love each other like, Mom and Dad, will you please just play nice? And they're like, yes. It is so epic of an ending for an arc. This is my favorite arc by far, story-wise, and it's not even close. Now, we get into the new guys. Caramel is okay. Let's put it at the top of B tier, just because of the goofiness factor, that it's hard to take it serious, and it doesn't really evolve into an impactful story until the last 2 or 3 quests. The last 2 or 3 quests is the only time you interact with anything that's going to hang around for the duration of the arc, and the entire front, like 85 quests, it's just goobly gop, and you're fighting for workers' rights, and you're playing with candy. I'm spitting everywhere. I'm so enthused about this topic, but it's just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just goofy compared to what we just did until the end, and then it gets like, whoa, once more. Lemuria, Lemur, Ia. I really like this world. It has very, very cool aspects to it. I've got to put this in A tier. That might be a hot take. It has like 101 quests, but you slide through it so well, and it has very cool characters that actually impact the rest of the story. Like Lemuria on its own's a little bit out there, and little like parts of Lemuria don't really connect to each other except for the one person you're obtaining as you're going through, but it all like adds up as you're going. Like you have to go to this section to get this attunement stone, this section to get this stone. Everything you're doing in Lemuria adds up as you're going on directly, and that's something I really like about that world that a lot of these worlds don't have. Some of these bad ones down here, they're down here because the areas of the world don't connect at all. Like you're over here for some reason, and then run back there, then run back here, and then over here. That's not like this. You go to an area, get the stone, unlock a phase of the door, and then it's on to the next area, and you've got a stone and an additional hero companion off of each area, and it's just like you see what you're doing, it's unfolding as you go. It makes sense. The world's cool. How you unlock the world is cool. Not made by Bartleby and Raven. How is it not A tier? How is it not higher? Is it higher? Does it need to be higher? Does it need to be here? And Polaris go to S tier? And Imperia go? No. No. Now on to the wacky, quirky, what is this world of Novus? I have very mixed feelings about this guy here because it's so much different from every world we've had before it. You have the whole journey through Kathmandu. That's kind of strange. This Moo Boo guy who falls off the face of the earth when the story's over. But eventually you get to Novus. And in Novus, everything's wacky, everything's different. Ups, down, left is right. You're walking and the camera's like facing sideways in some spots. It's cool. They do a lot of things that's never done before or after so far. It's better than Caramel. I know that. Is it better than Wizard City? I don't think I can say it is. I'll put it at the top of B. Just because it's, again, I bring up the pacing. It has like 80 something quests. And you just fly through them. It's where it introduces the solo, like one-on-one
1v1 me.
PvPing a boss almost. Let's just forget I said anything to do with PvP. But that's cool, where you fight the Tantrum and the quirks, and the whole world ends up being designed. A character turns into a world. It's back-to-back worlds that were not created by the spiral gods of Bartleby and Raven. I'm gonna talk it up a tier almost. I wish there was like a B+ I could put it in, but there's not, and this is the correct list, so I have to put it where it's supposed to be. Wallaroo. There's a chance some of you haven't even made it all the way through Wallaroo yet. If you haven't, you need to finish it because you get some significant upgrades at the end of the world. The story's really cool. It really puts a nice little bow on top of whatever Arc 4 has been. How much do I like Wallaroo? I like it more than Novus, I know that. No, I don't. Just because this is good because there were the solo boss fights, and this one, too many solo boss fights, 5 of them, and one of them it's 2v1 with a terrible cheat. I do like the end of it. There's nothing in the world wrong with anything on these later arcs, except the story's a little goofy here. You get to go 80% through the world before anything starts accumulating. But it's still a fun world. Let's just say this is Darkmoor. Only Darkmoor, nothing else. This is going into S tier. And now that's a perfect tier list, if you ask me, which is who you're asking. You clicked on the video and you wanted the correct list, so I'm giving you the correct list. Take a screenshot of this and tell everyone this is your list, and they will be so impressed at how accurate your takes are. We are like averaging a B. We have just as much in the average of B. B is my average apparently, as we do above and below that line. So whatever you want to say, this is a good list. If you don't like it, you're wrong. You should subscribe. I'm going to do more fun videos, and hopefully they're funnier. There's more stuff going on. I'll try to get other people in here with me. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, and if you don't like fun times, don't check it out. But if you do like fun times, probably like and subscribe and leave a comment and tell me things that I should do in the future. Thank you. Goodbye.